During the time that the X-Files CCG was in production, 2 dozen promo cards were produced and distributed through various channels, and I'm going to take you through the 1996 batch released alongside the game's Premier Edition set and offer you my 2 cents on which ones are worth getting your hands on. And I'm going to announce a giveaway wherein one lucky subscriber will win one of these very promo cards. Welcome everyone to 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 Investigations, a channel dedicated to the X-Files Collectible Card Game. I'm Steven, and you're watching Tips of the Trade. In 1996, when the X-Files CCG was released, the good people at USPC Games adopted the practice of using promotional or promo cards in order to, well, promote the game. These cards were distributed through various channels, including magazine inserts, mail-in offers, box toppers, and at gaming conventions. The majority of promo cards were put out there in 1997 before the game was ultimately discontinued. In total, 24 cards were deemed promotional cards. Well, 25 if you count the second edition version of the 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬, but that was more of a quality control snafu that needed to be resolved. But all of that is in the past because the X-Files CCG has been long out of print. However, these individual promo cards are still available today on the good old secondary market. eBay, of course, has many listings you can browse for a good deal, and you can also check out such online retailers as Category 1 Games and NerdMerchant.com, who specialize in vintage and out-of-print collectible card games. The 7 promo cards from 1996 are the focus of this video, and I'm going to discuss which ones are worth acquiring for gameplay purposes, and how much you should expect to spend to add these cards to your collection. But be sure to stick around until the end of the video for the giveaway, where I'll be putting up one of these promo cards in the latest prize drawing. With that said, let's get started with my X-Files CCG Buyer's Guide to 96 promo cards. Players can discern which X-Files CCG cards were released as promos by referencing the card's unique Bureau file number. Each of the cards made available in starter decks and booster packs have a standard filing number that begins with XF, which, as anyone can guess, stands for X-Files. After that, you have the last 2 digits of the year in which the card was released, then a unique 4-digit sorting number, and finally a suffix indicating the set in which the card belongs. V1 denotes the Premier Edition set, V2 denotes the Truth Out There second edition set, and X1 refers to the 1013-61 expansion. Promo cards, on the other hand, have a more distinct Bureau file number. Instead of XF, the prefix of the file number belonging to a promo card will begin with PR for promo. And once again, you have the year in which the promo card was released, a unique 4-digit sorting number, and lastly, a 3-character suffix referencing the specific channel in which the card was distributed. The majority of X-Files CCG promo cards were included in polybag magazines, so upon examination of these file numbers, you'll see such suffixes as INQ for Inquest Magazine, which was published by Wizard Entertainment, SCR for Scry Magazine and published by Scry Incorporated, and DUE for Duelist, the trading card game magazine published by Wizards of the Coast. The first promo card on the docket is the 𝐷-𝐸. Released as a magazine insert in the November 1996 issue of Scry, this is the only adversary card to be distributed as a promo. This formidable foe is a masterclass villain as indicated by its keyword master seen here, and can be played on any keyword affiliation site. It has a long-range combat attack of 5, so it will immediately take out any agent in the first round that's not packing body armor, or a combat card that reduces or negates the damage inflicted on the agent. The 𝐷-𝐸 has a towering health of 10, so chances are good that it will survive the long-range combat round in order to inflict a crushing 8 close-range damage to a second agent on the opposing side. If that's not enough, the cost to play a combat card on the 𝐷-𝐸 is reduced by 1 conspiracy point, which is especially useful given the steep cost of 10 CP to play this adversary. The 𝐷-𝐸 is a top-notch adversary to play if your conspiracy pool is deep enough. I recommend including this card in any deck that's geared towards occult adversaries and laced with combat cards that cater to occult adversaries. You can potentially cut down on the cost of this adversary and cut through the activator requirements by including 2 copies of the 97 German language promo card, Die Hand die Verletzt, which I'll highlight in a future video. But not only is this an effective strategy that I've seen used on more than one occasion, but it's also a faithful combination because both cards are derived from the same episode. From a buyer's perspective, you really can't go wrong with this promo card. As of this recording, the Dark Angel is going for as low as $2 American on eBay, so it's among the cheapest of this game's promo cards. You should have no trouble finding a listing between $2 to $5. Should you find it priced at $10 or more, then I strongly suggest you keep looking. The next promo card I want to talk about is Fighter Interceptor. Released as an insert in the November '96 issue of Inquest, this event card negates one alien adversary for the cost of 4 resource points. Barring the use of a keyword changing card like the Thinker, this card's effect applies to 5 adversaries: Alien Harvester, Abduction, Deadly Blur, the Alien Bounty Hunter, and the rare second edition exclusive Brother Martin is Attracted to You. On its surface, this seems like a pretty worthwhile card to include in a deck. But is it though? By my estimate, not especially, and here's why. Out of those 5 alien adversaries, only 2 of them are routinely included in decks, those 2 being the Deadly Blur and Brother Martin. The alien investigation activators of Abduction and Alien Harvester make them less desirable inclusions, and the cost to play the Alien Bounty Hunter is exorbitant to say the least, which makes the likelihood of using Fighter Interceptor in a matchup particularly small. You're more likely to use this card as conspiracy fodder during your opponent's briefing phase, which isn't too shabby given its 4 RP cost. And that's another thing, the cost to play this card is higher compared to, say, X, who can negate any adversary, alien or otherwise, for 3, count 'em, 3 resource points. Let's compare the game effect of Fighter Interceptor to such non-ultra rares as Evasive Maneuvers, which can negate any adversary that lacks the keyword phenomena for the cost of 4, and Hell Money, which can negate any adversary with the keyword phenomena also for the cost of 4. Given that there are decidedly more adversaries with and without that keyword, this makes these 2 negate cards more worthwhile inclusions than Fighter Interceptor. As for the monetary cost of Fighter Interceptor in today's secondary market, you can usually find this promo card going for around $5, give or take shipping, which is a fair asking price for a card that I would only suggest purchasing for the sake of completing your X-Files CCG collection. Let's move on to the next promo card, Alien Technology. This event card was made available in late 1996 to internet users through the web-based fan magazine Smash, courtesy of American Entertainment. For the cost of 2 resource points, this handy resource card is played after a team successfully investigates either an alien investigation or bureaucracy site. At that point, the card sits in the bureau section of the table until it is used to negate either an alien or government adversary, so it effectively serves as a deterrent to your opponent, giving them pause to play either of those adversary types for the remainder of the game. This promo card is situational, but not overly so. Obviously, you would only include it in a deck that specializes in either alien investigation or bureaucracy. If the majority of sites in your deck have either of these prerequisites, then it's worth including 1 or 2 copies of this card. Ideally, this is a card that you'd want to play early on in the game before your opponent has a chance to drop either an alien or government adversary on your unsuspecting agents. You might consider including such search cards as One Breath or the French promo card 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 in order to fish this card out of your deck whenever the time is right. As to today's sticker price for this promo card, you can typically find a copy for around $5, at most $10 on the high end, and I wouldn't recommend spending more than that on this one. If you're running a lot of alien investigation or bureaucracy decks, then see if you can get your hands on 2 copies. Bear in mind, for just 2 RP, this card can keep your team safe from such punishing adversaries as Deadly Blur and Joseph Patnick. Talk about peace of mind. This next card is the cream of the crop as promos go. Hell, as all X-Files CCG cards go. I'm talking about No One So Paranoid. This 5 RP event card, which was handed out to convention goers at Gen Con 96, combines the game effects of the 3 Lone Gunman cards. Frohickey, which can negate an event card, Langley, which can send a bluff to the discard pile, and Byers, which can add 1 to a computer skill check. Of all the 96 and 97 promo cards, this is the preeminent staple card. No self-respecting deck should be without 2 copies of this card. It can get your agents out of a serious jam, or it can be sold for 5 conspiracy points during your opponent's turn. By design, No One So Paranoid is the most versatile card the X-Files CCG has to offer, so it is the most sought-after card by players of the game, and unfortunately, it's the hardest to find due to its limited print run. And because it was used adjacent to the rare 60-card Gen Con demo deck, it's the most expensive card outside of said demo cards. eBay listings for this card usually run between $85 to $150, and sellers will often ding you on the shipping as well. As useful as this card is during gameplay, it is just not worth spending that kind of money. My 2 cents: save your hard earned cash and use proxy cards, people. If you're a completist, or maybe you find a seller who's willing to part with it for, say, $60, then sure, maybe then it'd be worth your while. The fifth promo card, Chester Bonaparte the Spirit Guide, is derived from the Season 2 episode Fresh Bones and was distributed as an insert in the 1997 winter issue of Gamer magazine. This event card carries a 5 RP cost and has a two-part game effect. When an occult adversary is played, this card can be played to negate it, at which point, if the current team investigating the site can make an occult investigation skill check of 6 or more, then the owning player may ask either a method or result question of their opponent's hidden X-File card. Sure, this card may be a bit situational in that it relies on an occult adversary being played, but let's not forget that some of the game's deadliest adversaries are of the occult persuasion, including the Manitou Stalks as Prey, Simon Gates aka Farrell, Private McAlpin Zombie, the aforementioned Dark Angel promo, and let's not forget the cheap and effective Margie Kleingen and Terry Roberts from the episode CCG, and the Poltergeist Attack, which is impervious to combat attacks. These adversaries are powerful enough that they are recurrent inclusions, and a team that's strong in occult investigation skill is probably being headed up by Albert Hosteen, Dr. Charles Burke, and Karen Kossoff, who are all weak in the combat department. So negate cards like Chester Bonaparte are gonna prove a solid defense. Worst case scenario, if your opponent doesn't appear to be packing occult adversaries in their deck, then you can always sell off Chester Bonaparte and get yourself a deep conspiracy pool. It's a win either way. On the secondary market today, this promo card usually runs for anywhere between $10 to $25. Even though its print run is comparable to some of the aforementioned promos, for some reason this one doesn't show up as frequently as the other cards. If you're hunting for one, then maybe try your luck at haggling, see if a seller will let it go for less. It's not a must have for all Bureau decks, but my occult investigation team wouldn't dare leave home without it. Now we come to the Agent Henderson promo card. Released as an insert in November-December 96 issue of Duelist magazine, this is the only agent card released as a promo. With a resource cost of only 3, Agent Henderson is a terrific option for rounding out your team. She's got 2 sciences, she generates 1 res each briefing phase, and best of all, she can fish a motive site out of your deck if you should find yourself without a site to investigate. As to what you can currently expect to pay for an Agent Henderson promo, you're likely looking at spending at least $10, but trust me, it's worth it to get a copy of this card in your collection. When you're deciding which agents to include on your team and you're crunching the skill numbers and you're weighing all the various game effects, it's best to have every agent card available on hand so you can consider all the possibilities. And lastly, we have the 96 promo card Teamwork. This event is an oddity in that it bears the aqua blue template used for the Truth Is Out There 2nd edition set that was released in mid 1997, and it was included as a box topper in the sealed booster packs of the 1013 expansion, also released in 1997. And yet the card's Bureau file number has the 96 prefix. But as Agent Mulder would say, go with it, Scully. This promo card is fairly appealing in that it costs 0 to play, and it adds to the player's resource pool the combined res value of a 2-man team of agents investigating a site. Sounds great, though bear in mind the majority of agents only generate 1 res, so on average you can expect to add 2 resource points to your pool, which sounds insignificant yet sometimes can make a big difference. Your best case scenario would be to play this card on a team consisting of, let's say, Fox Mulder and Alex 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬, who can each generate 2 res each. Or let's say a team consisting of Dana Scully and Tom Colton, who once again generate 2 res each. Playing Teamwork on 2-person teams such as these will result in 4 resource points being added to the pool, which is certainly nothing to sneeze at. Teamwork is one of those take it or leave it cards. It's helpful, sure, but not exactly a must have. Not to mention there's a certain degree of risk involved in sending only 2 agents to a site, so tread lightly, fellow agents. With all that said, looking at this card from the lens of a prospective buyer, today you can typically find it on the secondary market for around $2 to $4. I wouldn't suggest spending much more than that on this middle of the road type card. So there you have it, my X-Files CCG Buyer's Guide to 96 promo cards. I hope this information proves somewhat helpful, and I hope you'll help me by giving this video a thumbs up and investigating that subscribe button if you haven't already done so, and by simply leaving a comment. In fact, that's all you'll have to do to be entered into my latest giveaway. This week I'm giving away one of the very promo cards featured in this video, Fighter Interceptor. As with my previous giveaways, the winner of this promo card will be determined by random drawing, but you gotta be a subscriber, people. The winner will be announced in a future video, so if you want to stay on top of it, as well as everything else that's going on with the channel, be sure to ding that notification bell. And just a reminder, if you need ideas for constructing an effective X-Files CCG Bureau deck, I've got sample deck videos here on the channel that should prove inspiring. Lastly, you can reach out to me at alieninvestigations19@gmail.com for business inquiries, or if you have ideas for upcoming content that you'd like to see. Once again, I'm Steven, and be sure to tune in again for more Tips of the Trade.